That is you will start, Prabha?
Yeah. Namaste everyone. Happy New Year. Wish you all a very, very, very happy New Year. So let's start the first session of the year with completely alignment of the body and the mind. Wherever you are seated, please be seated comfortably with back spine straight. Adjust your spine accordingly. Roll your shoulders back. Completely relax your shoulder area. Bring a beautiful smile to your facial area so that all the muscles in those areas are relaxed. Feel the breath. Observe, watch the breath at the tip of the nostrils. And as you are watching the breath, allow the body and mind to completely settle down. Let all the fluctuations, the agitations, the waverings of the mind be completely, slowly bring to a stillness as you monitor your breath. Inhale and exhale. Continue for some time, allowing the agitations of the mind to settle down. As you breathe in through the nostrils, you can feel yourself energized. You can feel the cool air. And as you exhale, observe the warmth air. As you breathe in, and as you breathe out, relax, let go of all the toxins in the mind and the body. As you inhale, energize the cells of the body. As you exhale, release any tensions. As you inhale, feel yourself completely rejuvenated. And as you exhale, let go of things which are holding you up. Inhale and exhale. Palms together at the heart center, Namaskara Mudra. Chant 3 Ohms with Prarthana, slow, steady inhalations. Om. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu mavid vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditarataha chartheshvabhignam swarat tene brahma hridaya adikavaye muhyanti yat surayah tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. A wonderful new year to all.
Yes, namaste everyone. Very good to see a good number of people today. So let me straight away start sharing the scheme while both of you start updating.
So, if you look at the past few weeks, we have been looking at the story of Kardama and Devahuti, and now Kapila Muni is talking. Devahuti is in the path. She wants to be liberated. She expresses how she has this fear of this change, of this letting go of her ways, right? Of this attachment. Somewhere that material desire has fallen, but I want to move on, but there is this fear as well. And that is when Kapila Muni is now giving her this knowledge. What he is saying is this mind is constantly facing outwards and at objects and seeking happiness in the objects outside. And it is because of that there is all this agitation in our mind. And when it turns towards Bhagwan, that is the only way to drop that fruit, the material that, when we turn this way, then that fruit will drop on its own. What is that fruit? The outer material pleasure, the happiness that we are seeking from the external objects, that will automatically fall. What was our discussion about last week, Bala?
About our satsanga, the importance of satsanga, right? I think, can you go a little up? And he starts explaining about bhakti.
So when we were talking, when I was just thinking about bhakti today, I think this will really, this story particularly came to my mind. So maybe I'll just give that as a brief of our whole objective.
Yeah, we finished this. Yeah, we have. You tell the story, we can start with the next chapter.
And then we can move to Kapila's teachings, right? So this is the story from Ramayana. If you look at now, Ramayana can be looked at multiple levels, right? At one level, it is a social level, what happened at that time. It's like a history. Okay, people lived like this. This is what happened. Oh, and he was a great king. Okay, that was. And at another level, you can say he was a great Adarsha Purusha, right? So to look at him and try to imbibe his qualities, and he was God himself, and how to imbibe his qualities. At another level, if we look at it at a spiritual angle of the whole Ramayana story, it also comes that there's a beautiful meaning that comes out of it. Now, Ayodhya is that land, Ayodhya, no yuddha, that is a land of no conflict. In that land of conflict, no conflict, Rama and Sita live together. here is when the Sita is a representation of the Jivatma and Rama is the Paramatma. When there is no difference, when there is complete yoga of the then in that Ayodhya, in that land, there is no conflict. Then when Rama was asked to go to the forest, then Sita Mata also says, I will also go to the forest, because wherever Rama is, even if it is far, whether it is Ayodhya or the forest, that forest will be Ayodhya for me. There will be no conflict as long as wherever I am, there is no conflict within me as long as this Jivatma is with that Paramatma. Complete that yoga has happened. There's no separation between the two. It doesn't matter whether it is a palace or a forest. And there, now this Jivatma, Sita Ma, senses have turned outwards and in the form of desire of that golden deer. That moment that desire has turned outwards towards that golden deer, the Ravana with his 10 heads of Kama, Krodha, Mada, Moha, Matsa, all of those qualities come and capture the Jivatma and take her to Lanka. But there, Sita Mata now initially is in Shoka, but once she goes to Lanka, she chooses to be in Ashoka Vatika. She says, I have no sorrow now. I will completely devote my mind only to the sorrow came because she realizes the sorrow came because my mind was turned outwards. So now I will completely keep my mind only on Rama. And there in Ashoka Vatika, she's only chanting the name of Rama, 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 thinking of Rama, thinking of everything, all the time she spent with him. This is what she is doing. In the meanwhile, now Hanuman is a representation of our mind. How is Hanuman? He's jumping here, he's very playful, he's going all over the place. But in his mind, somewhere somebody has told him, you know, Rama, there is a great being called Rama. He knows. But then that meeting, first meeting between Hanuman, when Rama comes to Kishkinda looking for Mata Sita. She comes there, then Hanuman meets Pratyaksha, he sees Rama. First, he has information about Rama and he is very curious and very thinking. It is said that he used to write on the mountains Rama, Rama and all that. So he had that thing that, some curious, something about Rama, that mind. And then that mind sees, has a direct perception of Rama himself. Now, once the mind has seen, has had the direct perception of Rama, bhakti has set in. Now that jumpy mind has completely calmed down and become a dasa of Rama. Totally. And through that, now that mind now goes to Lanka, meets Mata Sita. That mind now expands because of he is doing there, he is going to that edge of the sea to jump over there. He is reminded that his power is much bigger. So that mind expands because he wants to serve Rama. How can I not serve Rama? That's a bhakti, that complete. He has given me a command and I must fulfill it. And for that reason, he completely gets expanded. That mind gets expanded and goes to Lanka and tells Sita Mata that Rama is coming for you. Don't worry. Now it is the mind reminding Sita Mata, that the Jivatma, that Paramatma is coming. I can take you to him. I will take you to him right now. But see what does Sita Mata says? You cannot take me. The mind cannot take the Jivatma to the Paramatma. He himself has to come to me. And that yoga will happen. And then she waits, the Jivatma waits there. When that bhakti has entered in the mind, the Jiva, the Paramatma also comes, and the unison between the Jivatma and the Paramatma happens. And they again come back to Ayodhya, the land of no conflict. Such a
very nice.
I had read.
Yeah, beautiful. One other thing which Swami Chinmayananda Gurudev says is the Hanuman as Guru Tattva. Okay, mind, yes. Okay, the Tattva, the Guru, where that Guru is the one who already knows, who has already surrendered. Okay, so the one who already has the experience of truth, experience of who Bhagavan is. Okay, that Guru only can take us. I think we saw that here, no, somewhere, or maybe in the study group. Sorry, that is only when I have money, I can give something to others, isn't it? I have to have that to give to somebody. So even the experiences has to be, the self-knowledge has to be, can be given only by someone who has realized that, who is in that state. So Hanuman is that Guru. So what happens to Sita Mata? That the 10 heads also, what they say is the moment the jiva turns the attention, even it is just a momentary thing, from Bhagavan to the outer world, we get in the control of the indriyas, the 10 senses. Okay, the jnanendriyas and karmendriyas. Okay, so at that time, in a state of shock, until Sita Mata reaches Ashoka Vatika, she is in deep shoka. But again, it has turned back to Ramajapa. Yes, it is said that completely Sita Mata was immersed, right? That is the Sundarkand if we hear. So she is there in Ashoka Vatika. Just that momentary separation also brings in, because we come under the control of the indriyas, that causes grief. So, but because it was Sita Mata who immediately turned, to Rama. So what happens is, even though the indriyas were forcing her, she never got under the control of the Dasha Indriya. Okay, that Dashanana we say, right? So she that willpower of the Jivatma is something very, and like Kunti Mata, she was what is a titiksha, enduring that suffering. Okay, she did not ask why am I doing this, why did this happen. She was enduring, how? Remembering with complete surrender. That is what Bhagavan says, right? In Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita also. Yes, it comes, it goes, everything, all the sorrow or grief, everything, happiness comes and goes, sukha, dukkha. But the one who endures remembering me, okay, simply enduring is, okay, that he doesn't call as titiksha. The titiksha is where the endurance is there, okay, but I remember the Lord as I go through this. Okay, so he's there. So that was Sita Mata's state. Because of that, she was blessed with the connection with the Guru. The Guru comes to reassure. Okay, no. It is not just you are remembering. Paramatma is suffering because of the, see, that is the truth of bhakti. It is very beautiful. It is not because me, Jivatma, separated from Paramatma, is suffering. Actually, it is Paramatma himself is in much deeper pain than Jivatma. That is why when Sita is separated, the way Rama laments is given in such detail. Okay, it brings out that bhava of how Bhagavan, it is like how mother feels when the child just goes away. That is why, even in these worldly things, everything he teaches us, that is how I am also in pain, come to me. So now this Guru has come to give assurance. He is coming. So what does this mean? Until Bhagavan himself thinks that he will come, nothing is going to happen. What I need to do? I have to just keep remembering him all the time. Yes, doing my work, remembering him all the time. And then at some point in time, grace, he comes and takes us. So Rama comes and takes Sita Mata. So that was also, I think, with Bhakti, this the last bit was very nice, right? How the Bhakta relates himself to Bhagavan. So a Bhakta has all the bhavas. Okay, with worldly relationships, we have only one bhava with one person. Okay, Mitra, Sakhya bhava, or Vatsalya. I am not a friend to my daughter. Okay, I don't have a Vatsalya bhava with, say, some other friend. But with Bhagwan, the Bhakta brings in all the bhavas. For some time, I can feel like, he's like my child. The moods keep changing, right? So in every relationship, I start seeing Bhagwan. So that is what he says. I'm everything to a Bhakta. So the Bhakta, for Bhakta, all the bhavas are completely streamlined or channelized to Bhagavan. Okay, that is the way our emotions get, I think, again, I'm forgetting that word, that camper, sublimed. Yes, and they get elevated. Okay, just my desire here, he starts, right? Kapila Muni starts with that. Okay, attachments, whatever we have, worldly attachment, elevate it to the divine attachment. That is Bhakti. So he starts with that, and then he talks about all these beautiful satsanga. So the satsanga is the environment which is very important for us to practice this. Otherwise, it is very difficult being in dussanga. Okay, the mind has to be trained, mind has to be educated. So for all that, we need a satsanga, and that will slowly, as we keep just remembering his name, his form, his greatness, his glories. That is why acharyas have given us all so many, stotras, whatever. Just remembering his glories and, taking everything in this world as prasad and doing everything as sarpana, all these things, consciously as we practice, then he comes closer to us. Yes. Parjanya. I think that's where we stopped. So everything is in that.
It's a very nice sentence. No, my bhaktas have no fear of anything, since everything in this universe is under my sway. I really like this sentence because the wind blows because of fear, the sun shines because of fear in me, the rain happens because they fear me, the fire burns maybe because I have told them to do so. All these things happen, but the bhakta actually has just complete love, surrender, faith, shraddha, everything towards Bhagavan rather than the fear aspect. Because that makes it a very important point for all of us, because many times I'm very scared if I do a mistake. What if God punishes me? So this is the point where we have to remember that will Bhagavan punish his bhakta like that? So if we have total absolute surrender and faith, like Mother and Sri Aurobindo used to keep saying that when you know that you have done a mistake, go and tell that you have done a mistake. And so that time, let the fear not happen that I have done a mistake, something bad is going to happen, karma is going to hit me back, all these things. Rather than just go, be admitted with sincerity and honesty, go and admit it to none else than Bhagavan, to the divine force, saying that I have done this mistake. So that the fear aspect is dissolved completely, like that. So we'll move on to the next chapter. Kapila's teachings 2. I will now tell the secret about the Purusha and about how he has pervaded the universe. This yoga is again Atma Vidya, by mastering which you will reach salvation. All one's doubts will vanish on their own accord once this yoga is understood. The Atman in you is the Purusha. He has no beginning and no end. He is self-luminant, and there is nothing which is not the Purusha, which is different from the Purusha. He pervades everything. He is eternal. Prakriti, however, is a cause of the conditioning of the Atman. Purusha is eternal, as I said before, and he is that which pervades the world of plurality. He is beyond the three gunas. How can then one reconcile the two aspects of Purusha? One is pure and the other is a world of plurality. How did the Purusha, who is beyond the reach of the gunas and beyond Prakriti, how did he become involved in this apparent process of births and deaths? It is not a puzzle to the wise. Shall I continue the next two? Yeah. Prakriti is made of two powerful ingredients, Avarna Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti. When the three gunas are so well balanced that there is perfect equilibrium, then what we call is Nirguna state, guna-lessness. Time is again another form of the Purusha. When time moves on, the gunas are suddenly found to have lost their equilibrium. It gets upset, and one of the three gunas, the Rajas, manifests itself, and after that, the other two. When the gunas thus come into action, the Avarna and the Vikshepa also come into their own. Purusha now assumes two forms, Jiva and Ishvara. The Jiva is that aspect of the Purusha which becomes involved in the play of the gunas. Avarna makes the Jivatma forget himself, forget the true nature, and this state of the Purusha is called avidya, not knowing, ignorance of the truth about himself. Along with avidya, Vikshepa also comes into force. Vikshepa causes the agitation. It is considered to be Maya, the illusion, which makes one think that the unreal is the real. These two, Avarna and Vikshepa, together cause avidya and Maya. When the Jivatma gets involved in this, it forgets its true nature. It identifies itself with the world of plurality and gets involved more and more deeply. The other aspect of the Purusha, which goes by the name Ishvara, is the one who does not get deluded by the two powerful forces of Prakriti. I think very correctly, Aarti also beautifully told the example of Ramayana story here very nicely. I remember once in one chapter of Bhagavatam, we also talked about the cotton and the patterns. Remember, I think some of you who were attending the beginning chapters, remember the cotton is the Purusha and the patterns around is the Prakriti. They both exist, but the deepest is the cotton. So the Purusha Prakriti combination here. So over to Aarti, if you want to continue what you said from Ramayana. This is the apt where you can connect.
Yeah. So the Purusha here is the Paramatma in that story, if we had to take. And then it's just trying to relate it to the story, but let me explain this concept in a way. So Purusha at a Pindanda level is the Paramatma, completely clean, like white light, like absolute white light. But then now that Avarana, that Triguna at this point in time, this Sattva, Rajas and Tamas is completely in equilibrium, equal composition. When it is like that, then it is pure white light. But then there is a small disturbance that comes. How? In the form of a prism. In that prism, it is going through some deflections within that prism happens. And immediately, now, multiple colors come out. Like that, the Purusha is completely untainted. But when that disturbance in the Triguna comes, when they are not in equilibrium and the disturbance in the Triguna comes, it's the Rajas which comes up first. And when that happens, what comes up first? The Prakriti comes out. Okay. And why does it come out? Because of the Avarana Shakti. Let's understand what an Avarana Shakti here is. Avarana is that mode of veiling. Thirayin pin nirkinrai. Thirai. It's like an Avarana. It's a veil. It's a complete, my mind is completely deluded. Now I see a mirage in the desert. But I think it is water. That is Avarana. That is a veiling for me of the truth. That mirage is water is what I am thinking, and I'm absolutely confirmed about it also. But in fact, that is actually an Avarana. So the moment I see that mirage of water, now this thirsty mind, that thirst shows up. And I want to drink that water. Agitation comes up, vikshepa. And I go towards the water. And I see there is no water. So the agitation increases. So it's like that. There is an agitation within that prism when that white light passes through it, and that agitation causes multiple colors, which is like the final prakriti, the jivatma comes out because of the avarana. I don't know if I've confused putting everything together. So in a way, if we have to go back to this, okay. Prabha.
I just wanted to add one, a simple example of avarna. Is I was just recollecting is because recently when I went out of station, if you order Starbucks coffee, in the deep on the top, when you see the coffee, you will see mostly the foam, right? The foamy, the whitish layer, because they put cream and all those things. And so when you look at that, you will not think that that is coffee. But when you remove the top layer, you will see that there is coffee. So the avarna is that the top wheel, that it's like in that milk, you get that, what do you call it?
Froth.
That layer you get when you put chai for a long time, you get one layer, one thin veil. So that veil is the avarna, and the deeper is the main essence. The problem is the veiling is there always. It's like the mirror is there. But when you have dust in the mirror, it is avarna. It is actually, you're not able to see yourself because of the dust. That is avarna. It is, I think Bala also will relate, because avarna and vikshepa comes in Patanjali Yoga Sutras a lot, very long, 2-3 sutras comes about vikshepa itself, about avarna itself, about how the wheeling happens, how the vrittis, the agitations of the mind happens, and how because of the avarna we are unable to see the deepest essence, the true nature of ourselves, because of the so many veilings and the curtains which we have. It is like artichokes. So many layers of artichokes are there. They're all avarnas. And finally, you remove. And finally, you will have the heart of the artichoke, or the heart of the banana flower. So you should think avarna is like that. So for everyone to understand, you can relate like this. I think it will be easier, because for me, I am a more visual person. So it helps me to understand like that. Aarti went, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabha, for reminding Yoga Sutra. I remembered one beautiful example that Raghuramji has written. So we are having that book getting launched in the 10th anniversary of Yoga Bharati Day. So I'm sure when we start reading, we will get a lot of. But then it is nice to quote that example. So to just recollect, avarana is the projection. Avarana is the veiling, vikshepa is the projection. Okay. So these are the two forces of Prakriti, right? That's what Kapila Muni is saying. These are the two forces of Prakriti. Prakriti is not, Prakriti, Purusha are like two faces of the same coin. Shiva, Shakti, we say, right? We say. So that's what it is. So this one example very beautifully that Raghuramji says how this works. Okay, every moment we are in that only. Okay, it is always my mind is projecting through the senses. Whatever is there, the inner powerhouse is Purusha. But the mind conditionings and my senses, the limitations of the way that the senses work, based on that, the world has been projected for me. That's all. That I am living in this Prakriti only. Okay, it is so that is some. So whatever the world that I have seen, this forms, this jiva. Okay, this is the creation of this jiva, and we have forgot that's what he comes to avidya. So before that, even Hanumanji, very interesting story it is, where Raghuramji talks about one great. I am not remembering that Kathakar. Someone, okay, who tells, I'm not remembering, he used to talk about Ramakatha, Okay, he was a katha, what do you call that? Harikatha person. Okay, so he was such a deep devotee of Rama. Okay. So it is said that every time the Harikatha happens, Hanumanji also comes, and we say, right, wherever Ramanama is there, Hanumanji is sitting. So Hanumanji was also sitting there and listening to the Harikatha and enjoying everything. So the one who is narrating the Harikatha, he say, let us take him as Ramadas. I don't know his name. Okay, just so Ramadas, he's saying so much, and then he comes to the Sundarakand portion where he is now describing, okay, as Hanumanji comes and he is sitting on a tree where there are white flowers. Okay, he describes that, and Hanumanji is listening to that intently, and then the Sundarakand, as it is said, Hanumanji had come there as an old man. So he says, no, that is wrong. You know, Hanuman saw only red flowers. Then this Harikatha, he says, no, I have read, it is definitely, and I have experienced also, every time the Katha is done, it is Rama who is talking through me. So I am sure if Rama has chosen to say it is white only. But Hanumanji says, no, because it is Hanuman himself, right? So he says, it is red only, and I am Sakshat Hanuman, and I am telling you, I saw only red flowers. In spite of telling that he is Hanuman, this Ramdas says, you may be Hanuman yourself, but Rama is telling me that it was white flower. I believe Rama. So both of them go and ask Rama, okay, what is it? You have to solve this problem. Then Rama says, Hanuman, you saw actually there were white flowers only. Okay, then Hanuman is shocked. He says, really? Yes, there were white flowers because you were with so much anger, with Ravana. So in that anger, everything looked red for you. So this beautiful story is for even someone like Hanumanji. Okay, all of us are in this. So that anger is the Vikshepa, right? And that white flowers seen as red flower is the Avarana Shakti. Okay, these are the Shakti of Maya. So they say Bhagavan, whenever he wants, he will put the Maya and cover. With so much bhakti, he will remove that Maya also. The same Hanuman, I think, experiences later, right? He is looking for Sita Mata everywhere, but he's not able to find. And then he sits, and then something dawns. Oh, I've been thinking that I have to find Sita Mata. No, she has to reveal herself. Okay, he closes his eyes and surrenders and says, oh, she is goddess Lakshmi. Unless she wills to reveal herself within this Avarana and Vikshepa Shakti, I cannot find. So that is the moment when Bhagavan opens that page. Tirain pin nitkin rai kanna. I think it would be nice if Aarti can sing that. Marayodum jnaniyar mattume kanvar. That is the beauty, the one who is able to, that jnani, who Marayodum is the one who know the Veda. Veda is Marai. It's called Marai in Tamil. So only a jnani who really knows that, oh, it's a play of Prakriti. I don't know, whatever the jnani knows, because I am not a jnani. So for that, Bhagavan comes. So that is the Purushan Prakriti and the Prakriti's power. Avarana Vikshepa.
No, that was beautiful. When Bala told about that Vikshepa and Avarana, that red color, because Hanuman was in anger, he saw everything as red. That as red. And he was not able to see the reality. That disturbance within him caused that Avarana and hence that projection. Right? So Vikshepa, Avarana are not necessarily. Vikshepa can cause Avarana, Avarana can cause Vikshepa. They are interrelated. An agitation can cause an Avarana, and an Avarana can become a reason for agitation also. So they are like feeding into each other. So here's what it brings it down to ourselves. See, like what Prabha said, no, it's like layers and layers of Avarana that we are constantly trying to peel and take. We can say just to give us an example in our own day-to-day life. Okay. Say my husband has told me we'll go for a movie today after I come back from work. Okay. Now I have been there at home the whole day, the whole week, not gone anywhere. I have only asked him, let's go for a movie, come on, and we have booked the ticket, and now that movie ticket is booked, and in the evening, and now he comes home and immediately opens the door, and you open the door, you are fully dressed, everything completely ready to go and completely dressed, looking forward to now leave, and now he comes in and you say, come on, let's leave. And he just looks at you and looks away and walks into the room. Okay. And he says, oh, this movie, I really don't know. He says, and he goes. Okay. Now you are all upset. You're like, one day I ask for something that also does not get fulfilled. Is this something that I take up all the time? Is this something that I ask all the time? Okay, I do so much for this family. One day I am dressed, I want to do everything, but nobody cares for me. Okay, and all this, what is it? It is because that excitement, and that suddenly this person, there is a change in the way it is not meeting my expectation. My excitement is not met. Because of that, there is an agitation, and that agitation results in wailing, complete wailing. Instead of thinking, what could be the real reason? He looked so upset, not even able to observe. When I am so engrossed in my own thoughts, he could have had a very bad day at work. Maybe there was a lot of work. Maybe he's not well. Maybe something is wrong with him, but none of those things are now in my observation, because that agitation is so high because of that excitement and everything. It's completely that avarana has happened. It is when that wailing is removed, I pause, I calm myself. Then that wailing gets removed, then I can go and ask, what happened? But if I don't know and let my agitation go, sometimes we know that he's sick, but still today only of all days, he should fall sick. That also. Today only he had to, for one day we book a movie, we had to do, how we can become like that. Today of all days, okay, I will do everything I have to do. Okay, give medicine, give this. But inside, that complete agitation will be there. Of all days today, what is this? I think this is only my fate. I cannot get anything good. One day I wish for something. So many spin-ups can come up. I'm talking about common layman problems. All this is coming up because of our wailing. This is one small example like this in our life, because of our various interactions and transactions. How many wails we keep accumulating through our lives. Please share, Tejasvi. Not sure. Okay, I'll read it out.
No, I just felt, yesterday in temple, many would have also gone for the long queue for, Venkateswara Swami Darshan. And we leave our slippers and we walk and crowd. Sometimes I even felt like coming out of the queue, but still like so much of crowd or heat and we wait. That is all the wailing, the Maya kind. And okay, we'll reach the God finally, and the final darshan. Yeah, that gives what the wait was for.
I really think in Tirupati, they wantedly want to test your bhakti. When you are going to enter the sanctum, you are going to see that God now, that last moment, there'll be no crowd also around you. Still one will push you, one will pull you from the other side. At that point in time also, if you can keep your mind on God, you are saved, you will get his darshan. Otherwise, if you get caught with this person, agitation, this person, why is he pushing me? There's no crowd also. 1 minute you will lose the darshan of God. You will miss him.
This is nice example. I would like to narrate one of my experience, okay? And extrapolate it with this Avarana Vikshepa. So beautiful it is, okay? See, like standing in long queues, okay? Like that, it is for us leading a life with full of challenges, right? All of us have our own challenges. So standing in queue. So, but here we want the darshan of God. We are very clear. Okay, so we are standing in queue and we are focused, but sometimes we do lose our mind. We want to come out when things get going very tough. Okay, same thing with life also, right? When challenges get very tough, do I have that purpose that I need to discover myself? Like say, I go to Tirupati, my purpose is to get the darshan of Venkatachalapati. Okay, so in life, so that has to be, my goal also has to be to get darshan of God. Being born as a human being, we've been reading in Bhagavatam, that is my life goal. Paramartha, Parama Purushartha is that, right? So I'm just reflecting, okay, what is coming in my mind. So that is one thing. And how much of whatever challenges I face, say people push, pull, whatever happens, okay, am I remembering Bhagavan through all those stages? Okay, the same push-pull can become, it will be there, okay, in the queue, but it can become very, less impactful, they say, right, if the Nama Japa is done. When we are in the queue, okay, continuously doing bhajans, if you go to Pandharpur, you will experience that. In the queue, nobody simply stands. People just do continuous bhajans. So it is a long wait queue only, 5-6 hours or 4 hours or 3 hours, whatever. Okay, but the strength is again given by that remembrance of Bhagavan. Okay, we go through the same thing, but remembering Bhagavan in the process also. So as that happens, the darshan actually becomes, what happens is, when I had just gone with this, all the challenges, with all complaints, maybe fighting with people, okay, like sometimes what can happen, I can miss the darshan also. Or at that time, if say I'm prepared, someone reminds me, okay, whatever has happened, leave it. That is the power of satsanga. Sometimes they can come and say, no, whatever has happened, now leave everything. Once you enter the sanctum, don't bother what others do. Keep looking at, because it happened. Okay, somebody told me, once it enter the sanctum, just keep looking at Bhagavan only. Okay, whatever can happen, can happen. That was the first time. So that is the power of satsanga. So when we are also, getting the Tavarana Vikshepa Shakti, when we are drowned so much, then the satsanga can actually pull us and say, okay, this is the focus, this is the goal, do it. So that can happen, or I can miss. But when I am in that Nama Sankirtan, completely remembering Bhagavan throughout the queue, facing all challenges in life like Kunti Mata, doing everything, but with not much of complaints. Even if there are complaints, put at his feet, cry with him, whatever. Okay, but remember him. So he has traveled with me throughout. So with that, when I get Bhagavan Darshan, that is extraordinary, isn't it? So that is what Bhagavatam tells us. I think we just need to remember this. This is a very beautiful example that is brought out by Tejasvi. We can all take this as our...
Here, very aptly, yesterday, in another book class, there was a very nice article shared by a person related to silence amidst the chaos. So very, very beautiful, because there is a lot of agitations when there is chaos around. Some of us might even get very disturbed if there are a lot of sounds. For example, New Year, neighbor is running a party. For them, it would be music. For me, it would be noise. And there is so much of agitations. And here is a very beautiful article. Let me read it all to you. I think I can share it. Just hold on. Yeah, I think I can share it. Yeah. Somebody is unmuted. Could you? Yeah. Yes, I muted you. Could you all see this? Yeah. So there is a person who comes, say the man, I can't sleep. The man continued, because as I have mentioned, I'm extremely sensitive to sounds. You're able to see this, right? Yeah. I really wanted to join the group practice today, but I couldn't sleep. What can I do? I gave him instructions on sound meditation. I means the teacher, okay? Using sounds as a means of focusing and calming the mind. Next day, however, he came back to my room and told me, your instructions help little bit, but not much. Those dogs keep me up all night. I have tried to explain I'm really sensitive to sounds. Well, I told him, there is not much I can do. I can't kill the dogs, you know. I can't cure your sensitivity to sounds. At that moment, the gong rang for puja, a kind of group ritual of devotion similar to the ceremonies performed in other religious traditions. A Tibetan puja is accompanied by drums, horns, cymbals, and group chanting, all of which can be quite loud. It's a cacophony that used to terrify me to the point of an anxiety or panic attack. But when I looked across the room, I saw the same fellow who was so sensitive to sounds sitting near the back of the temple with his legs crossed and body slumping forward. In the midst of the loudest, noisiest part of the puja, he was fast asleep. At the end of the ceremony, we met at the door leading out of the temple. I asked him how it was possible that you slept during all that noise and commotion. He said, I guess because I didn't resist the sounds. They were just part of the puja. Maybe you were just tired after so many nights of not sleeping. I suggested, no. I think I have just learned that my sensitivity to sound was a kind of a story I kept telling myself, an idea that's got stuck in my head, perhaps when I was a child. See, the story is a vikshepa, the projections, okay? So what are you going to do tonight? I asked. He smiled. Maybe I will listen to the dogs and hear it as their kind of puja. Beautiful. The next day, he came to the room and announced proudly that he slept like a baby. I think I may have lost my attachment to the idea that I am overly sensitive to sounds. I like the story because it demonstrates an important principle. We are disturbed by sensations to the degree that we resist them. This young man, after some practice, discovered that the sounds we hear are like the music of a universal puja, a celebration of our capacity to hear. It's so wonderful that whether we, like Bala said, whether we are in a line, we're in a queue where we are tossed here and there, or pinched here and there, or pushed here and there, or we are crowded with lots of chaos around. But still, how are we able to be there with amidst that? So how much are we resisting? What are the avaranas? What are the vikshepa, the projections we are having there? Oh, look at these people, how much sound they put. See, so many things these people nowadays, younger generations are like, they're all loud people listening. They're all, know a sense of lifestyle. See how many things we start seeing there, which causes agitations within us. When we say there are agitations within us, and when we are not resisting, we are kind of like, I like this, the music of the universal puja. So that actually, in that way, all that vrittis, that agitations calm down. And we will find, like Bala was saying, no, we are just looking straight there at the Bhagavan. That's it, because we are not affected with any of the chaos. I remember I'm a tall person. So whenever in temple, in crowds, I have a very nice technique, because since I'm very tall in Guruvayur and all, from far away you are tossed nicely here and there with huge crowds. But being a tall person, just when I enter the sanctum itself, straight Guruvayurappan will be there. So I used to just be very nicely stand straight and keep looking at Guruvayurappan, be tossed here and there, because finally, you're going to be reaching there because you're already tossed nicely. It's like a pushing of the wave, like that. And that used to make me feel very happy, that as a child. But recently when I had visited, I was just thinking that actually, for me, I'm not affected by people tossing me, because I know finally I will reach there because of the people pushing me. I'm going to reach there anyway. So why don't I just straight away, because of the height advantage, I just continuously see Krishna and then just continue going. That really, you're not disturbed with any of the chaos around. You're completely, having that, you're defocused. The defocusing happens and you're focused. All these things do not disturb you. You're only there, focus. So then the vikshepa, the avarana, the veiling, the projections, everything reduces. So this is where I want to show you a picture of vikshepa, because this is very important in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. There are so many vikshepas. It's a very, very huge chapter, but it will be nice for you all to see that, and maybe you can all understand it later, maybe when the book gets released.
Yeah, as you share one quick story, how we think this vikshepa, avarana is all in my mind what I create. It's a very subjective thing, okay? And that may not be true. And the problem is I get caught because I think that is what is the truth, ultimate truth. And okay, so it seems like someone was, giving a music concert, okay? A wonderful music concert. It was happening so beautifully, but in a temple. But someone who was, a sculptor in the pillar, he was working in the pillar. So he kept on doing that noise. See, I'm also telling noise. So he was doing that sound, of hammering something. Okay, that work. And the one who was giving that concert, he stops and then he looks at that sculptor. Okay, and he thinks that the sculptor will, automatically, because it's the music, so he is disturbing. That is what was the thing from which he was coming from. So he looks, and then the sculptor says, "Oh, no, you continue. Yours is not disturbing my work." Okay, so that is the kind of, he was totally in his work. So, and for him, he had accepted that also, and he's doing it. So if you look at it, that avarana vikshepa was not there for the sculptor. He is beautifully doing it, being in the moment and wonderfully. But it is there in this one who is singing. So and the thing is, his avarana vikshepa, he thinks is true for the other person also. This also we get caught many times, right? Yeah.
Are you all able to see this diagram?
Yeah. Yes.
So this vikshepas, there are so many types of vikshepas, like Sage Patanjali says. There are so many obstacles to the mind. And the vikshepa, the projections there, avarana is the veil, and the veil or the curtain, the thick curtain. That is the avarana, the veil always is removed by Jnana Yoga. That is the way the Sage Patanjali says, the Jnana Yoga helps in, brings in removal of the veil, and Viveka comes in. So when the avarana goes, the Viveka, the discrimination ability comes in, and the vikshepa, the projections. So and the agitations, the wavering, so many waverings are there, the waverings, the mental waverings, the mental fluctuations, the projections, the mental projections which is happening. And there, and Sage Patanjali gives a list of vikshepas, or the obstacles in the mind level. That is a vyadhi, which is a disease, sthana, that is the dullness, the samshaya, that is the dilemma, the indecision. So most of the time, the disease, of course, we know that whenever there is a disease, there is so much of agitations in the mind level also. The dullness and the ability that there is so much of tamas in the body level, that also brings about a lot of fluctuations and the waverings of the mind. The samshaya, the dilemma, that is sometimes we're at the junction of a road, we don't know whether to take right or left. There is so much of confusion, the indecisible abilities most of the time we face. So we don't know that what to take, because we are not in touch with our true principles or the true self, that I need to take this. And that is also a vikshepa, that is also a projection. Like they was really beautifully Kamala Subramaniam say, that is, you think the unreal as real. So there is a lot of indecisiveness. And the pramada is the carelessness or the negligence. So the most of the time, is that very beautifully many authors have written understanding of pramada is sometimes that when we think that every work is God's work, then we will put our heart and soul into that work. So then we are able to do the work with complete harmony and complete focused. But when you are not in touch with your true nature, when you are not thinking that it is God's work, then their carelessness happen. So carelessness or the negligence or the hurry to do. So this is where a very beautiful example it was written that Mullah Nasruddin one day, I think Raghuramji only would have told, Mullah Nasruddin one day was sitting on a was going in the market and asking people, where is my donkey? Where is my donkey? Where is my donkey? And everyone are very surprised. Why? Because Mullah is sitting on the donkey. And then he's asking, where is my donkey? Where is my donkey? And this is where the Raghuramji used to say that the Vikshepa, the projections, we are sitting right on the projections, but we don't know that we are sitting on that projection. So that is the where that negligence is there. This is where the pramada is countered by viveka. That is, we need to calm down our agitations, pause. If Mullah had paused and stopped and looked down, he would have seen that the donkey was right under him and he was sitting there. But he did not pause. There was only hurry to run into the market and look for the donkey. Alasya, the laziness, as the indication, the laziness can be different levels. People think laziness only is on the body level. It could be an inertness to do things. Absolute tamasicness to do which is important to do. Avirati, that is the absence of non-attachment. That is, you're completely indulging. The indulgence, the projections, whatever, like Aarti was saying, no, when Sita saw the Maricha, she got distracted, and all the Dashananas, all the people, all the 10 heads, the Mada, Matsari, everything kind of caught her, entangled her. So this is where we sometimes get entangled with all our attachments and everything. Bhranti Darshana, the false perception. There is a very beautiful movie, right? Drishyam. That is what we see. Is actually the unreal is real. Very, very beautifully portrayed in this movie, right? So the hero brings about so many things which that person has to see, but actually it is not true. All right. So this is where this false perception is very important for us to understand, with Aarti's example of the husband coming in and the movie thing, and how the wife thinks of hundreds of perceptions, right? This is where a curtain, the avarna is between the husband and the wife. There is a curtain. With the curtain there, I'm not able to see the other person completely. Right? There is so much of false perception there. So alabdha bhumikatva, that is completely the fail. There is again it is related to the perception itself, the failing to attain the stages. That is basically, again, it is related to the different kind of a projection itself. And there is a very beautiful way this person, the Daji, has written about this. Kamlesh Patel is also about the guilt and shame, the digital distractions also leading to vikshepas nowadays. Lot of projections because of the guilt and shame, because there is a guilt that I have done this, the shame that I have done it by not falling into my standards, and I have done it. So there is guilt and shame also brings about a lot of distractions and agitations, digital distractions. So there you would see that Vikshepa is kind of continues to keep happening in our life. And that is where it stops us from, seeing the being in touch with the Purusha. The Jivatma is veiled completely with Avarana and Vikshepa. Aarti, you're muted.
The Vikshepa can go to very deep levels. In fact, if you have, because Prabha mentioned about the movie, I also remembered another movie called The Beautiful Mind. If anybody has watched it, is a real story of one of a great mathematicians who became a Nobel laureate, Nobel Prize winner, and I'm forgetting his name. I just know John Nash was his name. And the story talks about how he was he was very, very intelligent, extremely good mathematician, but he was a loner. And when he comes to college, when he comes to hostel later and he's in a room, that loneliness sets in for him because he's not able to connect with the others. Because he is such an intellectual, he's not able to connect. And that causes some agitation within him. And then he meets a person in his room, and he is his roommate. And then he becomes very close friends with that guy, and he keeps going through life. At every stage of his life, especially whenever he is very, very disturbed, that person will come up, will be there for him at all points in time. And he will move through that life. He's there throughout, and he also gets to meet one of his nieces now. Also, she also comes. And then later on, he gets married to another woman and has a child and everything. And that woman later finds out, I'm not telling the whole story, realizes that he is actually schizophrenic. What is schizophrenia? Schizophrenia is a kind of delusion. Vikshepa. That agitation of that loneliness was projecting. And in fact, that friend, that roommate of his who was with him throughout was his own projection and was not a real person at all. And he realizes it later when he realizes, even when others tell him that this is a delusion, you are schizophrenic, he does not accept. He cannot accept that that person is not real, that person that he's seeing, his friend, the only friend he had, and he has had him for so long, he could not accept that he is not true. How can he not be true? And he was not at all ready to accept it. They give him medication, he takes the medication, but doesn't take the medications properly, and it becomes very bad. But finally, he realizes it one day when he becomes dangerous to his own house in his own Vikshepa. He realizes and he says, this girl never grows. That little girl. That is when his Vikshepa is cleared. Then the journey of starting to come out of that Vikshepa. First of all, you realize that there is a veiling there, that there is a Vikshepa there. Once that realization comes, then comes the journey of taking over the mind again. Because if I have especially dwelt in that veiling for a very long time, in that Vikshepa for a very long time, that has had a very strong hold over me. Now it will keep coming up. Those people will keep coming in his life again and again and again, every time. But slowly he starts ignoring them. He does not want to talk to them. He starts fighting, or, initially he's fighting. He says, go away, go away. And slowly he takes control. He starts ignoring them, does not see them. Then he has complete control over his mind. So then starts the process of going towards the reality. So this is a different level of delusion, but our very existence as a Jivatma here is because of all the veilings we have collected over so many janmas. And this life that has been created, the people, everything. So now, as and when I keeping my mind, I keep my focus turned inwards and keep looking at Bhagavan and only in everything, his play in everything, and I keep going slowly now, then slowly, either if I keep my mind on another, I may not be able to identify every veiling, but if I keep my mind on him, I will be able to identify the veiling. The veilings will start dropping on its own. Okay. I think next week we will have to talk about avidya and maya. All deep concepts, okay? These are all the Sankhya philosophy concepts. It may sound dry. We will try to put stories and all that as much as possible, but it is the basis of existence for all of us. Why we exist is because of all of these things. May the veilings of our mind be dropped. May the mind be as clear as the still water of a lake. And this is possible only with Bhagavan's blessings. So with this wish in our mind, let's chant Om Namo Narayana 11 times. Om Namo Narayana Om Namo Narayanaya. 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 May we move from untruth to truth, from ignorance to knowledge. Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ.